music down. And hello everybody. How is everybody tonight? We're back for another evening of some really good conversation around games, gamers, gaming, and maybe a little bit of pop culture just thrown in the mix just to make it a little bit more interesting. As you notice, we've got a little bit of a new layout. I worked hard on this all day today because I wasn't quite happy with the way things were working in the other one, and we got a better picture of you know, my co-host, of which there is Red Mage. How are you tonight, sir?
Amazing.
Yes.
And yourself, sir?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. You're also known as Red Mage X on Twitter. I am the Cranky Canuck, and the gorgeous lady joining us is Karida, otherwise known as Shadows Dawn _. And I won't bother going into making sure you get the underscore, because then you won't, you'll get tired of that. But I do want to take a couple seconds here and lay out some stuff. Besides the new layout, and I hope you like it. I hope it makes it easier to watch the show. It won't make it more enjoyable, but it might. You never know. One of the big problems with streaming and saving the past broadcasts, when you play music in the background, and I don't blame Twitch. They've done this because they've basically got no choice. They're playing with the big boys now. Is that if the music you're playing is flagged by their system, they will mute 30 minutes of that where that song occurred. And last night's show got snagged at the beginning. So the first 30 minutes, there's no audio. It's just three people sitting there going, you know, that's not fun. And also, when I upload it to the show's YouTube channel, it gets flagged by YouTube because the copyright owners are saying, you can't be doing that or making money off of it, so we're taking over your show and we're going to make the money off the ads. So the music we're playing right now, and we will probably continue to play, comes from a couple different sources. One of them, I'm not sure if Joanna's here, but she is a very awesome, I don't know if you refer to her as amateur, but she makes some very nice techno backbeats that I really enjoy. Will you stay right where you are, Klendros? You stay right where you are, buddy, because you're up next. And the other one is from a gentleman I've known for many years, back when I was involved in the beginnings of social media, reporting on it and writing on tech blogs. His name is Adam Singer. If you guys like because the majority of the music you're going to be hearing tonight is his. If you like it, let me know, and I will post the link to his site where you can grab the music for yourself. But on that note, we're here. I don't know really how to start this off, other than Klendros is, I've known Klendros now for a couple of years. He is also known as Veg when you hang out in the Dizzy Disaster crew. Whereas most of us are like WoW or Diablo players, Veg or Klendros is a bang-on Rift player. He loves his Rift. And it's the great MMO that nobody has ever heard of. Last night, after last night's show, we were sitting in TeamSpeak, and he linked a new promo from Mythic Realms, I think is the name of the company. Is it Mythic Realms? Anyway, but of a new video that they put up for their show. And we're just going to slide it up here and let you guys enjoy it. Come on now. There we go. So, no, save that
I think
one
they
for
were
later.
trolling all of you, Veg.
Let's get rid of the frame. So, are you going to go and start playing Rift? Because now you can do the Saturday night dance?
I'm going to say no, with one caveat as a joke. They're missing one thing. Roller skates.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah, that's right, too. Veg, you got to talk to Treon. They've got to get they got to redo this. They got to get roller skates in there, man.
Do not disgrace my roller skates in this fashion.
Hey, they do roller skating down here by water. So I'm not disgracing it. I love it. It's just, that's the first thing I heard. When I hear the music, I'm like, of course I'm not believing what I'm seeing, that this is how they market something. It's just, no. No? You don't think so? Not sold.
Not sold? Well, I gotta admit, I like in the past, Veg has been very encouraging. Come and play the game, check it out. It's free to play. It's an MMO. If you like MMOs, it's free to play. And I've thought about checking it out, and I'm kind of glad now that I've gone, nah, I don't think so. What do you think, Cried? Is that right? Like, did that want to get you up and playing Rift?
Seriously? Sorry, Veg. I've got no interest in the game. And that just pretty much kills even the slightest interest.
I had my speakers on. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was me. I keep forgetting to turn off the power to the speakers, and I'm an idiot.
You're going senile, old man.
Yeah, I know. Keeping with the vein of stupidity. Okay. We've talked about the fact that they're making a film or a movie based on the Asteroids game. They've made a movie based on Battleship, which I'm still trying to figure out how it was based on Battleship other than name only. Space Invaders movie has landed a screenwriter. Warner Brothers is moving ahead with their Space Invaders movie. Deadline's reporting that the studio's hired Blacklist writer Dan I'm not even...
Kunka?
Yeah, okay, that'll work. To write the script for the film, which is based on the classic arcade game. Dan made Hollywood's Blacklist by taking a 52-page spec script called Yellowstone Falls and converting it into a film about wolves battling zombies. Sounds like, he's got some serious talent. He's working on the same writer's working on several other projects at the moment, including an adaptation of Winston Groom's novel Patriotic Fire. Andrew Jackson and Jean Lafitte at the Battle of New Orleans. He also recently sold a 1-hour drama to Sci-Fi Channel with Roger Zemeckis producing. And then, yes, of course, there's the Yellowstone wolves battling zombies.
Why? Like, Battleship was as stretch as it was.
No, wait. There was no stretch. Okay,
no,
the
idea, even creating the movie was a stretch. That was the stretch.
All right, okay.
I'll give him credit. I never watched it, but I'll give him credit for putting Rihanna in there because she's easy on the eyes. But this is a train wreck waiting to happen. This guy might as well be named Yui Bowl for all I care right now. All right, like this is beyond ridiculous and stupid.
Or Sam Raimi?
I like Sam Raimi.
Raimi's not bad. He's
gotten bad in the recent times, though.
Well, recently, but yeah, if you look at his track record, though, it's different. Yui Bowl has a track record of stealing piles of shit. Blood Rain, Postal, Blood Rain 2.
Didn't they do Blood Rain 3?
They think they did. I will give him credit.
The one where they went to a western, old time cowboy and Indian western. Yeah,
which makes absolutely no sense for the game. The one that was actually watchable. And the only reason I'm saying it's because I watched it with someone else and we got a good laugh out of it was the Dungeon Siege movie they did with Jason Statham. It was entertaining as a video game movie, but it's still Yui Bowl.
Well, okay, here's a question. What did you think of the Doom movie?
I enjoyed it. It was a movie I had to shut my brain off for. I knew that coming in the door. Video game movies have a track record.
Yes.
Having The Rock cast in it, I was all for it because I'm a wrestling fan. Was it Carl Urban in it? He's a good actor. But I think the really thing I was looking for, because I heard they were doing that first-person perspective for the movie, and I was all for it because I heard about it and I'm like, I gotta see this because like they see how well they did it. I think they pulled it off, but they kind of really screwed the pooch at the end.
What do you think, Karaida? What did you watch it at all, or no, you didn't? Not even a borrowed copy?
Nope.
You know what? You're probably better off.
I value my brain cells too much to do that.
No, but here's the thing.
And I'll watch some pretty stupid shit, like Howard the Duck.
Oh, come on.
No, come on now. Howard the Duck.
Cult classic.
Yeah.
I know, like I just said, I love that movie. But it is terrible.
I put it on the same level as Hackers. I have to.
It's a bad... Hackers is terrible too, but I love it.
True.
Slither, Sundown, Vampires in Retreat, Super Mario Brothers. Terrible movies. But they're so much fun to watch.
Why is there this penchant to do terrible movie adaptations of video games? Is it just because they want a quick buck, or is they just don't know what the fuck they're doing?
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. Like, a lot of these people, you can tell, are not gamers when they do these. Like, it's clear. The Super Mario Brothers movie, I watched as a kid in theaters, and I loved it. I go back to it now, I'm like, the fuck were they thinking? This is like taking Mario Brothers into, like, post-apocalyptic steampunk and just puking all over it.
But I love it.
It was great. It was one of those things where you watch it and it's like, this is so bad it's good.
Exactly.
Again, it's not a redeeming movie. And this Space Invaders idea, like what are they going to do? Copy Independence Day? Like that's the only real way you could see this going.
Well, in the game that your gun, I guess, so to speak, looks a little like the White House. So maybe the White House will suddenly have, like, equipped with guns and lasers, and it'll be taking out, you'll have Obama sitting up there going, taking out.
Well, you know what? It even could be the mimic version of the White House in Cuba, in Havana. It could be there, and it could be a big Tesla coil on the top. Who knows?
So, I will say one thing about Space Invaders, like I said about Battleship. Battleship, I said, they better have the line, "You sunk my battleship." And they did. I was terribly disappointed. So, for Space Invaders, they better have the fucking sound effects. I want my cheesy, descending, impending doom sound effects as they go deep, 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 deep.
I'd wager they put the arcade cabinet in the movie at some point.
Oh, they would have to.
That would be the way they do it.
Yeah, they would have to do that. But here we are. We're saying that, if they make the movie, like we're going, okay, it's gonna be made. But why? It is not gonna be good. I don't care what you say. There's nothing. Look, this is from when 8 pixels was the king. All right. This is not 4K graphics. Right?
There's no actual story to it either.
No.
That's like it's the same with Battleship. There's no story to be pulled
there
off.
Was movie. Yeah, there was none for Asteroids either.
Yes. Yes, Joshua, we have heard about the HoloLens, and we've actually spoken about it quite a bit here on this show. You're all for that thing.
Yeah. While we talked about Doom. I did not realize that Doom had like a fairly big modding community around it, and that it was still, the original was still out there being modded, and people have been playing with it until both you and I saw this one, because I put it in as well. And I'll throw the link in chat so you guys can check out the images. But Heroic Doom mod adds 37 Instagram filters and a selfie stick.
I fucking hate this internet generation.
I'm good. Why? And I told Kryda earlier, I filed this under what the fuck and why do we even need this? Because...
Oh, this is what you were talking about?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that it was put in twice. I saw this, I'm like, oh god, I have to throw this in. Because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it.
But, okay, as the story goes, after almost 22 years, Doom is finally finished thanks to mod maker Linguiki's or whatever Instadoom, which adds 37 Instagram filters to the game and swaps out the fabled BFG with a selfie stick. Available as a free download over at Doom World, Instadoom gives players of the classic shooter a chance to take the battle to the next level by applying filters like Ashby, Lo-Fi, and Valencia. Once the filters apply, players can rush through the first level to the location that once held a chainsaw, but now holds the legendary selfie stick. No!
So they need to make up their mind with the mod, because the article is saying here, swaps out the BFG with the selfie stick and now the chainsaw. Oh no, chainsaw and BFG location. So you take out the two most fun guns out of the game, and replace it with this, for lack of a better term, and I'm going to be brutal with it, retarded thing, and mod into a game. I like the idea, the whole selfie picture thing. You can see the Doom guy, which fine, but why do we need this? Why is this a thing?
Was this modder bored one afternoon and he had just finished taking a whole bunch of selfies of himself when he realized, hey, let's do this in Doom?
Whatever he is on, I don't want it.
I don't want it either.
You know what? I think though that stupid selfie saw got stuck in his head. I'm gonna go kill this cacodemon, but first let me take a selfie. Like, no. My faith in the internet generation is waning quickly.
Yeah, like everybody's saying, take my BFG? No fucking way. Screw the selfie stick, I want my chainsaw. By the way, do you think that in Doom, they got the idea of using the chainsaw as a weapon from, what was that movie with the famous one where his hand was a chainsaw?
Oh, it was Evil Dead and
yes.
Army of Darkness?
Yeah, Army of Darkness.
Either that or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what? If it was the former, props to him. It's one of my favorite series.
You see they're bringing Army of Darkness back with the original actor to a television series?
Oh, thank God. I'm sorry, Bruce Campbell is Ash. You can't do a remake?
Yeah, he's going to be in it. He's going to be in it. But the age difference, I don't know how they're going to deal with that. But anyway, I was just neither here nor there. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't either.
Karate, you're being like, aren't you going to go and get this and fire up Doom and take some selfies in the game? And no, should I duck now? Uh-oh.
Oh, just hang on.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. oh, she's going to shoot me with a real arrow.
It was fake. Here we go.
Oh, God.
Hey, Josh, Cranky, got an interesting question in chat.
Okay. What was it?
Look at Joshua.
If you do an hour later, oh, you mean go from the 90 minutes to like 2 hours? Is that what you're talking about, Joshua?
I think he wants 2.5 hours.
Dude, you know...
Oh, you want to be really reamed, Sim. Don't make me come after you.
Joshua, listen, I really appreciate that offer, and I would love to take you up on it, but here's the thing. It's Sunday. There is, like, next to no news that happens on the weekend when it comes to gaming. And also, you got to take into consideration, I do this of my free time, so I don't have a life. I could do a 2-hour show, 2.5-hour show, no problem. If there was just 2 hours, without really having much of a problem. But my co-hosts, all of them that we have on this show, also do it of their free time, and they have real lives. Okay, so I can't ask them to commit like that. As much as it would be cool. And I originally maybe wanted to go that kind of length. 120. We'll see, Josh. We'll see. Hang around, and if you keep liking it, maybe we'll have a special. We'll do a special when we got a really good day of news or whatever.
I think there's some people in chat that are really trying to get me to just come after them. You guys don't realize I have a closet full of bladed weaponry.
She does, guys. She really does. I've seen some of them. Not up close, thank God.
6-foot spear?
Yeah.
7-foot blade?
Yeah.
I think Red thinks I'm joking.
No, I'm looking behind you. I'm pretty sure I see a double-bladed staff behind you.
That is actually one of my LARP weapons. That's just a staff for the game.
Now you lost me.
All right.
I could go get my Macedonian.
Let's stick with. Let's just, because we've been talking about movies and everything like that. Let's just sort of stick with this for a little bit longer. I did not realize that Karida was a Darkpool fan, and I didn't know.
Deadpool.
Back up.
Deadpool. Sorry. Is Dark Devil in the channel? Because he always does that to me. Anyway, and apparently, Red. Let's see your. Yes, man. The Deadpool ring. Yes.
Glory in all its gloriness.
Yes. Word came out today that, or was it yesterday actually, that Gina Carano, who you would probably remember from Haywire, where she kicked some serious fucking ass, is being cast in the Deadpool movie coming up. She will be playing a character known only as Angel Dust and is a member of a small group of outcast mutants living under the streets of Chicago known as the Morlocks. These Morlocks have made a pact to stay together to help each other fulfill one last wish left over from their lives on the surface. I like the idea of her being in the movie. She's got the look, she's got the chops when it comes to the physical part of what, obviously she's a mutant, she's gonna have superpowers of some sort, so she's got that end of it. Her acting, yeah, maybe could do a little bit of improving. But what do you think? Are you kind of interested in the idea of her being in the movie?
I totally am. I didn't know the name until I saw the article, and I looked her up. I'm like, okay, so she is now one of my favorite people in the world because she's a beautiful woman and a strong woman.
Yeah.
I was floored. I was like, okay. if she's going to play this character opposite Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, I'm in.
Okay, now
I'm even more in.
Here's where I have a problem with the whole Deadpool project. One, Ryan Reynolds. Sorry, he ain't doing it for me. Number two, Fox is the money behind. Number three, that Fox has come out publicly and stated this will be a PG-13 movie. You tell me in what fucking world Deadpool is a PG-13 character?
He ain't. Not one
Not
bit.
one freaking bit.
Like, I don't care how great your writers might be, but Deadpool is a coarse motherfucker who will just as soon shoot you for a buck and stomp on your head and then take your eyeballs and have lunch. That's the character.
Yeah, and that's what we saw. Like, I know you're railing against Ryan Reynolds, but I personally think when he was cast as Deadpool or Wade in the Wolverine origin movie, I thought when I watched it, this guy's perfect, because he's the type of actor who can run at the mouth. And I think it was mentioned on one of last week's episodes, they were talking about this, and any of the movies he's done, I would guarantee half the lines that are actually made it to the movie are him ad-libbing. Like, he's one of these guys who can go and he actually will create better dialogue than what they have written. So to put him as the merc with the mouth, like I said,
I don't even think they'll give him. I pretty much think they'll be like, Ryan, go, just go. We're not even giving you lines, just.
Yeah, okay. See, a lot of everybody's enthusiasm on him being Deadpool is based on what, a 45-second leaked trailer or test that that I think was purposely leaked by Fox.
I wouldn't doubt it. To get hype coming on it. And I know what they initially said that, it was accidentally leaked, but because of the overwhelming support on it, how much people liked it, they're looking forward to going forward with it. One or the other, whichever way it was, I really don't care. It could be a publicity stunt, like the interview, the whole spiel what the interview was. But it's a matter of, yeah, I'm really hesitant like you are with Fox, still having hold on it, because they've kind of really ruined a few X-Men movies along the way. But
kinda ruined?
Oh, I'm being very nice about this, at least now. But like to see that I think it's more of a combination of the fact that they know what Ryan Reynolds can do, and compare that with the character, and then that 30-second whatever spot, which left people like myself recollecting their tongues off of the floor. Because it was. This is like, you watch it, it's like, this is Deadpool. This is what it should have been. And they ruined it with the version of him in the original Origins movie.
He was great at the very beginning of it. I loved the character then. But then they gave us whatever that fucking thing was.
It was Baraka from Mortal Kombat. That's the first thing I thought when I saw it. The freaking blades come out of his wrists. I'm like, nope, this is no longer Deadpool. But I'm going to strongly agree on the PG-13 is the wrong way to go. I know they're trying to get a mass market to see it, but this is not the movie to do it with. Not the character to do it with at all. Like, even the video game they put out a year or two ago, that is not a kid's game, period, end.
Yeah.
At all. So, I'm going to be following it, but I'm just excited because it's Deadpool, period.
Yeah, listen, don't get me wrong. I would love for it to be a rip-roaring success, because I would love to see me some Deadpool. Some true Deadpool. Not.
If they would just make it R, I think they could make it.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
they would just make it R.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. All right. Let's get a couple little things that.
Well, there's one other thing they could maybe do. It is if instead of treading lightly through that PG-13 thing, if they went right there to the brink of that edge, they might be able to do it. But it'll be extremely hard to get right to that edge and not cross it.
Yeah. I'm not. See, the problem is I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that working. You know. The two things. Okay, I could actually say, okay, fine. Ryan Reynolds, he may be able to pull it off, especially if he's able to, like as someone said, he's I think it was Light Ray who said that Ryan Reynolds is a huge Deadpool fan. Okay, then maybe the character is in good hands. The movie, on the other hand, on a whole, is not in good hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would swear that even if it was Warner Brothers or if it was New Line or take your pick.
I think it'd have better luck in Sony's hands.
Yeah,
that's saying something.
Yeah.
Well, look what they did to Venom in the third Spider-Man movie. You want to talk about messing up a character?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. No. Eddie Brock was supposed to be a jock. A big, beefy guy. And... no.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Reynolds in Blade Trinity, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, he was good in that movie, too.
He was just... even there, I don't think he had any lines. I think it was all just... opening his mouth and saying the first thing that popped in.
How many people do you think connect concurrently to play Dota 2 on an average weekend?
10 people.
10?
If
Really?
I remember correctly, they actually hit around 1 million recently.
Yeah. That's right. They broke this past weekend. Dota 2 broke the 1 million mark for concurrent users. That figure means that people signed in and played the game all at the same time, and this is the first time it's ever happened in Steam's history.
Which is good for Steam. That's to see them hit a milestone like this is actually really nice, and especially when it's a Valve game. I know League of Legends and other games like the sort are dwarfing it, but it's good.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, what is it about Dota that like I've never played Dota 2. I've never played Dota 1 or Dota 1.5. What is it about Dota 2 that keeps obviously people and Orno's dodging spears? I don't know why. Are you throwing spears, Karida?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not one bit.
Mind you, 1 million might seem like a lot, but apparently, I guess League of Legends had anywhere from 5 to 7.5 million concurrent users over a weekend.
And they said that's a 2-year-old figure too.
Yeah.
So it could be
Yep.
double. Well, I wouldn't say maybe not double, but at least 50% higher than that at this point. On a rough guess, I don't even know if they've released recent numbers. But
And going by that time frame, I'd be among that number.
What for League of Legends?
Yep. Because it's been about 2 years since I actively played it like every night.
And I'm just trying to fix something here. Don't mind me, folks. I'm just trying to make it so that red doesn't seem to be disappearing into the bottom of the screen. There we go. That's a bit better.
hey, Slouchy.
Yeah, Slouchy. I listen. I know Slouch. I love slouching. what? I don't even know where to go from here. I really don't, because because I know games are big, and I know that the game developers need to learn their chops. Okay, most of them come out. I know in Canada, one of the biggest ones, and you would probably know this as well, is Sheridan College. Was at one time one of the biggest computer graphic CGI teaching establishments in North America. Like, you had people from Lucas flying up to interview students from the school. But that's a university, that's a college. But in England, they've actually got a what really resembles like a high school, where the kids they have their normal classes and so on and so forth, but a part of their curriculum is learning to create games. Do you think that's... What do you think of that idea?
I'll be honest, I would have loved to have this in high school.
Yep.
I'll show my age. Being 32 and getting into college, well, actually Sheridan was an option for me at one point because I live close to the area. There wasn't any real gaming-centric or game design-centric courses, ever. It was either you doing software or you're doing hardware. It was very limited. And to see this, I'm happy, because the people who want to get into it can dive headfirst into it now.
Yeah, apparently, the students, and there's only 300 students in this school. It's called the Studio. Looks a little like on the school on the inside, as it looks as little like a school on the inside as it does on the outside. Basically, it's a redone warehouse. The students file in at 9 p.m. Blazers, business attire, no slouching around, no pants down to their ass. They're aged between 14 to 19 years old, and today is games day. Now, apparently, not every day is centered around games. Like, they do have their normal curriculum that they have to maintain for, because the government's this is supported by the state, or the English government. I like the idea. I really do. I would have loved to have had but you gotta understand, when I was going to high school, remember the PET computer, the PET Commodore?
Yeah, it's about my time too.
Yeah, well, I was in my third or fourth year when they were just starting to come in, and there was like maybe 4 of them in the computer lab. Right? What was your experience like when you were going to college, high school or college? What was your experience, Karida, with like the computer generation? Was it in full force, or was it still in that acceptance process?
It got in full force whenever my dad and I were the ones that set it up and I ran the class.
What? Whoa. Run that by me again?
I was in 8th grade and my dad and I set up our, actually no, yeah, 8th grade. No, 8th or 9th grade. Can't remember exactly if it was the last year I was at the school, but there was no computer program at the school at all. Hadn't been at any of the ones that I was at because I was in private schools. But my dad and I were the ones that built out our computer lab, and I basically was the one that administered the class. We just had a teacher there for official purposes.
Okay, so
what?
No, hey, listen.
Props to you. That's awesome.
Yeah, like no, don't get me wrong. I think that's, but the idea of what, 8 or 9, that would have been, you would have been what, 13, 14?
Yeah.
And you were teaching the upper grades as well, like kids that were older than you.
Yep.
What was that like?
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
What about you, Red? What was your school introduction to the computer world?
They were, oh god, this is going back grade like 4 to 6. They had, oh, they were Macs. I'm trying to remember which, but it was the whole one box console with the tiny screen. I think it's
the Apple II,
the Apple II or something like that.
You know, the Apple II
with HyperCard and like stuff like that, and like I was given an Atari for my 2nd birthday, so I kind of predated them a little bit by a few years. But mostly it was Macs in grade school, and then got to high school. They've had regular Windows computers, thank God, because Apple is one of my least favorite brands because of all those. But I think actually we had at our school for a couple summers, they had computer camp. So instead of us going to summer camp and going out camping and everything, you were in the labs and working on making stuff with computers and learning further. So that was my experience, at least.
See, my first real experience, and I guess you could call it it was then it was a computer, was when I was living in Calgary. Somebody owed me some money, so I took their Sinclair Timex Z28 little computer in payment. And back then, even that was expensive. But it was all, like, you didn't have a monitor for it. You had your LED readout. Like, you couldn't really do anything with it. So I didn't get any interest at that point. I was just, okay, well, fine. Now what do I do with this piece of shit? I ended up pawning it off on somebody. My next one would have been, when I moved back, was when the XT first started coming out. And from then on, it's just been one after another. But yeah, the XT would probably be my first one. But I was in my 30s. I would have been in my late middle 30s, somewhere around there. So yeah, it's I'm always interested because with gaming especially, what I find is that a lot of the younger generation don't have much of an appreciation for the equipment that is powering their games. Number one, because a lot of them couldn't put one together if their life depended upon it, right? You know, like one guy says, "What's RAM?" Then no, you're not putting one together, buddy. I don't care how many YouTube videos you look at, you're not putting one together. What do you think that having an appreciation for the history of computers and gaming, and what gaming has done to actually, because to be honest, video-wise, we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for gaming and porn, but mostly gaming.
I actually agree with that. I ran into an article, it's probably a month or two back, where this father is taking his child through the evolution of gaming as the child grows up. So he's starting right from like Atari, transitioning to like, ColecoVision, Nintendo, so that they get an appreciation for where the games come from, and they're not touching next gen until like their teens.
I like that.
I love it, absolutely love it, because I don't even know if the VHS tape's around anymore of me playing Moon Patrol at age 2. But I agree. There's a lack of appreciation for where things came from, and I think that's one of the reasons why retro gaming right now is becoming such a huge thing. Is because a lot of people are going back and rediscovering, all these old games. Like, I went back and played Final Fantasy because all these new ones kind of make it a little bit easy. And a
Yep,
lot of those
and
old
that's
games,
why I'm doing what I'm doing.
like I remember old games being brutally punishing if you made a mistake. I've got, what was it? I think it was a game called Faxanadu, which felt like a side-scrolling Zelda, like the Zelda 2 game, but brutal. It wasn't easy to deal with, and it was a lot of backtracking and everything. And you know what? I miss that kind of gaming. You don't see it as often, and now thankfully it's resurging.
Yeah, just to give a little bit of context, I'm the same age as you, Red. But, and like you, I have memories of playing on the Atari when I was like 2. Or mainly playing River Raid and having a freaking blast. Or my dad taking me with him to the arcade, and we'd sit there and play Frogger or Paperboy in the arcades. And also, my actual first experience with computers came probably about 2 years before the story that I told you. And I've told it on here before. Is basically one of my dad's friends gave us a box of parts and said, here's a computer. If you can put it together and make it work, you guys can keep it.
Well, Calendros or Veg, I just can't pronounce. I can't do it, Calendros. You're Veg. That's all there is to it. He says he learned how to type on a Wang machine. Ever seen one of those? I got one better, the Veg. Have you ever seen a 10 megabyte drive that comes on a pallet? I have.
Yeah. One of my uncles actually showed me one of those whenever I was just getting into computers. He was going to turn it into a coffee table.
Oh yeah, literally, it is a coffee table. It's coffee table size. It's the perfect height. Literally, the only way you could move it was on a pallet with a lift truck.
God.
And that was the most expensive drive of its time. 10 megabytes.
I remember having like 50 and 100 meg drives at home.
Yeah, like
this thick.
When I was running my BBS, and I was running it on a 486 DX2 with mem management, and oh yeah, Maximus was the software. It's all scripted. We used to, one of the things we always had to be worried about was, because I was a file hub, and game files at that time were, let's say like Commander Keen could fit on a 3.5 144 floppy drive, right? And still have room left over, right? So as a file hub, it was like one of my responsibilities. I would like be phoning overseas, downloading them on, like, they would come through FidoNet, because I was a FidoNet node, and I would bet 99% of the people in chat do not know what FidoNet is. Do either of you?
It sounds like something I should know, but I've long forgotten.
Exactly. It's like, I know the term, but I don't recall it right offhand.
FidoNet basically was the first internet. It was people who volunteered their time and their money, because you understand this was expensive, because you had to pay long distance charges to move echoes, like messages and files back and forth around the world. But it was a worldwide connected computer network, and was done over the phone lines. And FidoNet, I can't remember the exact acronym for it, but I was a major file hub in where I lived, and one of the constant things that all the admins would worry about is the size of game files, because they were the real bad ones. Like, programs were always like kilobytes in size. But the games were getting larger and larger and larger. You were going from like a meg to, and this is compressed. This was zipped or RAR. Like, we were always trying to find the best compression program, RAR, PKZip, Lark, like you name them, we would try and use all of them. But it got to the point where these game files for like Commander Keen or Doom or any of the shareware titles were getting around 5 and 10 meg compressed. And it was getting really expensive for us to be footing the bill for this. But people around the world did it. So your games, you know, the idea of your games just, you know, appearing out of nowhere, there was people doing this a long time ago, sharing these files around the world at their own expense and worrying about whether or not 5 meg for a game file was too big. As we sit here worrying that we got to download a 60 gig first day patch for a console game. It's
unreal.
Well, just to put it into perspective, back then, like 5 megs would almost be the equivalent of taking 200 gig of your terabyte drive for one thing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's ass kicking time.
Thanks, Mooncake, for following. All right, we got kind of carried away there. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, folks. I gotta get something to drink and take care of a couple things. In the meantime, chill, listen to some music. I'll turn the tunes up a little bit and chat amongst yourself. If you are new here, like Moo was, or maybe you've been here for a little bit, and you like what the conversation, you like the people that are in chat and on the screen, consider hitting that follow button down there, folks, because it lets us know we're doing something right. In the meantime, 5 minutes, folks. We'll see you when we get back. Enjoy.
Come here. Come here.
Oh yeah. It's ass kicking time.
Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh, come here. Alrighty. You gonna sit down? Hey. Hey. What's up? You want to be part of the show too, huh?
And we're coming back at you. Just a quick note, because Arnold and I were just, as you can see in chat, we were talking about one of the really awesome things. Funnily enough, I don't know why you if you would think it was awesome, but in the FidoNet echoes, which are much like forums or your modern day Facebook with its conversation chain, but it was just done differently. There was something with what used to happen if you got into a disagreement, and depending on the skill of the participants in the argument and what they were arguing over, it could develop into what they called a flame war. Now, a really good flame war could result in some of the finest use of language, polite language, to insult you in ways you could never even possibly imagine. Everything from your heritage to your mental capacity to your IQ to your sexuality to your ability to have sex, it didn't matter. But it was all done in such a way that it was just a beautiful study in the English language of insulting one another. It was just, there was nothing like a good flame war. Anyway, before we get to the top 10, couple points. Apparently, Dying Light has a patch that's just gone live. This patch is been something that the players want and the modders want, in that it enables mods within the game. But apparently, I guess there's some really kind of strange conditions to this ability to mod. If you're playing the game online and you have modded the game, you will not be able to connect with vanilla players, aka players without mods. Well, that's pretty standard. Unless you're, it's a modded server, because that, like Altus Life, it's a modded server. When you connect, you download the mods that need to be installed. You can only play your modded games online with other players with modded games. I'm not seeing anything unusual about that. Also removed is the weapons duplication exploit. No word here whether Techland will punish cheaters, but if you haven't tried it even once, you'll be happy to know that it's a level playing ground now, at least if you're playing the vanilla version. So I guess there was something to do with the duping of weapons in the game. That kind of would take the fun out of it. Among the other changes and fixes Techland has made for the game include considerable reduction in RAM usage, video memory optimization, fixed Be the Zombie mode, fixed issues with playing as a zombie and failing to connect online, reduced long load times, fixed personal stats, fixed issues with key assign to gameplay, Linux-specific optimizations, and a couple other ones. I will put this in the chat because apparently it gives you a link so you can see the complete patch notes if you haven't already seen them. What is your impression of Dying Light?
All I know is parkouring zombies.
I've had a little hands-on with it, but my rig's a little underpowered for it, so it's great indoors when you're in like the tower area, the safe zone. As soon as you get outside, it becomes laggy hell. So it's like after playing Dead Island for a while and then going into this, I like it. This actually, a lot of the reductions in RAM usage and the video memory optimization might make it a little easier for my dual-core CPU to handle, but it sounds all like really good fixes they're doing. And with games like this, especially for PC, modding is always big. Like Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim are always my favorites because the heavy mod communities that go with them. But But like it's one of those things I'll have to see how it works for me.
Okay, about modding communities. Generally, you would think that modding communities want to work to the benefit of the community, to the game, to make it better, to make it more enjoyable. Am I missing something here?
Not necessarily. A lot of cases, like Skyrim is going to be my prime example because it's the one I've been playing the most recently. A lot of the mods will tend to be, an additional player housing. Even though Skyrim has a mod or an expansion pack that does that, you can build your own. One was a flying dwarven airship, so just floating up there over top of a lake. Some of them are you could be regulated under cheat mods. Like there was one that I picked up just to speed through portions of it that I've already played, called the God Ring, which increases your smithing skill by 9,999%. Increases like your alchemy skill by the same. It makes your sneak skill so high that without training in sneak, you can literally walk up in broad daylight, sneak up under someone's nose, and they wouldn't see you. So it can get a little unreal and wacky, but there's a lot of mods, especially in games like that, where they've optimized the lighting and made it more realistic.
Well, a selfie stick. Well, no. Here's the thing. We give Doom a lot of. We gave him a little bit of crap earlier in the show about having the selfie stick, but they're only taking a page out of the book of WoW. Because the next patch that's coming for WoW is you're gonna be able to have a selfie stick and take selfies of yourself in the game and share them on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. What the fuck?
You know what? If they're putting that in the Twitter integration, I'll say okay, cool. Like if you want to take the step out of taking a screenshot and sending it off. But to have a specific addition to the game to have a selfie mode, I'm not really impressed. I'm not. I might use it, sure, but what's wrong with shutting off the UI, turning your camera around and zooming in on your character's face, or at least upper body to get a nice sunset behind you picture? Like that's already been there. It's just they're removing steps. Yes. It's a laziness effect.
You mentioned that, because also within the next WoW patch, they are going to have Twitter and I believe Facebook integration, and I do believe Landmark already had that. Okay, that was already part of their package. Like you could take a screenshot and share it on Facebook or share it on Twitter. Crider, what do you think about this, including your social network in your games?
You better not spam the shit out of me with that stuff, because I already loathe the social media game notifications thing. It drives me fucking nuts. People are lucky that I'm too lazy to go and block them whenever they post that stuff. I don't want to see it. I literally could give less than 2 shits about it. Hang on a second.
Oh. What about you?
Don't keep going.
Okay, what about you, Red? What's your feeling on it?
Like I said, I'd use it just for, again, it's that sake of ease for sending screenshots out. Like I've uploaded screenshots to Facebook before, because as dated as WoW's engine is, there are some beautiful scenery and beautiful shots you can take in there, but it's really not needed. There's other things that they could have put in that would have been far more important, like the fabled dance studio that we've been asking for years and advertised, I think, on the Cataclysm box. So, but the thing is, it's this. It sounds like a vocal minority thing where people have asked for it, but not everybody asked for it. Or it's just they're just saying, "What the hell? Why not?" It's not for me. It's not. I don't think it belongs.
I have to agree. I do not see why you need to, in the middle of a game, tweet out to your Twitter fans that you're playing a game and you just scored a legendary. Like I'm like I would why waste code on something so like it I just don't see why resources are being spent on that kind of shit when there is better places that those resources could be put.
Well, the original EverQuest did something similarly as stupid, including their /Pizza Hut command, where you could be playing in-game and type that in and order a pizza while you're playing EverQuest.
What?
I'm
Now,
not kidding.
that
I
is
wish I was
amazing.
kidding. No, it's useful, but can't you pick up the phone?
Yeah.
Like, seriously? Like,
Not back then. Back then, you pick up the phone, your ass is getting dumped offline.
Oh no! I was one of those fortunate few that where I lived, we were in the same city as our cable TV provider also provides cable modem service, and we were kind of an early adopter. So we went from the 56K modem playing the Realm, and jumped onto cable. And I worked for that company for 2 years as tech support, and I've never had a problem, and have 2 years of people yelling at me for their problems was funny because I never see it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a misstep for them in this part.
What like? Do you see the need for it, Kryda? Like, is this just being wasting like to be cool?
I know that there are some that'll enjoy it, but to me, it's just like whatever.
Like Ryan said in chat, I think they're going with the free marketing, and I can understand it from their side why they might want to do this, right? From the marketing department side, I can definitely understand it. It doesn't mean just because you can do something and it might be good for marketing doesn't mean it's going to be good for the players, doesn't mean it's going to be good for the community, and doesn't mean that you should do it.
I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking on this one. I really don't.
Okay.
I'm done with it.
Yeah. Shadowrun. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Shadowrun is, yes, there we go, got Kryda's attention. The Shadowrun Hong Kong Kickstarter has crossed the $1 million mark in the final hours. Actually, Oren, I am, but I can't afford it. So that's what I'm gonna have to put on my wish list and see what happens down the road. Now, from what I understand, Kryda, and you can maybe correct me on this, Harebrained Schemes, which is the dev house behind this newest incarnation of the Shadowrun franchise.
They're making basically they're doing a new version of the games that they kind of already been producing, which is the Shadowrun Returns stuff right now.
Okay, what is Shadowrun? Give me, because I've never played
Shadowrun is a classic cyberpunk tabletop RPG. It was set in a well, actually, technically, we've already passed the time frame for where this stuff started. Magic started returning to the world, and you started having elves and trolls and half-ogres and things like that starting to come back in. And all of our mutations and stuff, and dwarves. But it is very it pulls from your Neuromancer and things like that, and even some of the terminology is baked into the game. But what they did for Harebrained Schemes games is they've turned it into pretty much like a little squad-based tactical game.
Okay.
In the vein, I would say, of XCOM. So if you like XCOM, you will find these games very, very familiar and a lot of fun.
what I found interesting about this from the business side of it, like I've heard of Shadowrun is more and more actually in the past, month or so, but when they launched this third Kickstarter, because this is the third time they've gone to the well for a Shadowrun series. They were worried that the backers wouldn't open their wallets for a third time. Okay, so like you said, we were concerned about how this effort would be treated. Wiseman said, but we decided to do what we've always done, which is just be really straight and say we are making this game, and here's everything our budget allows us, and here are the ideas we would love to put in our budget. We would love to put in that our budget doesn't allow. If you guys like those ideas and want them added to what we think is already going to be a great game, then you can help out. Rather than coyly allow backers to think that the Kickstarter funding was the only way Hong Kong would happen, the team wanted to be straightforward. It's kind of like what your mom's always told you, Wiseman said. Just tell the truth. We tried something really weird, Giltman said. That's to respect our audience. It seems kind of odd, but think about it. Along those lines, Harebrained Schemes is not adding any additional last-ditch stretch goals now that the $1 million mark has been reached. The two gentlemen told that they don't want to introduce any additional risk inherent in any stretch goal expansions. Basically, they said, look, here's our budget. Any money... Thanks, Zach, for following. But if we raise any money over on top of that budget, it's not going to be going towards adding more shit, which could endanger the project being good. We're going to put it into things like, paying our developers. We're going to be, pizzas and so they eat properly, and Q&A testing of the game. So just on that basis alone, I almost want to say, even if I never play the game, I want to buy it because you guys you're being like, is their approach to doing this that different?
Considering most of the games that have come there for their capital to be able to make the game. Yeah, it is kind of different from normal.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing to see that they're coming out front saying, "Hey, we're going to make it regardless. Here's what we want to do, and then here's the level where what we have as funds stop." And then there's the rest of the stuff that we would like to add in, or if you guys want to see it, put it in. I like that. This actually, one of my friends who was in the other night, Artemage, pointed me to this. I had to pull it up because I know there are people who have interest in Shadowrun, and this would be something good to pull up. But I played the Shadowrun Returns on my Android phone, and really the first exposure I had to it, which the easiest way, if someone doesn't know what this is, it's like taking XCOM and Baldur's Gate and mashing them together and getting this kind of sci-fi meets magic world, and I loved it. It's really something I should have been playing instead of D&D 3.5 back in the day, but I like that they're doing this though. The process they're going through, they're straightforward. They're not hiding behind oh, we might do this, or a lot of people who are doing it on Kickstarter is having all these lofty goals and not meeting them. And they've proven that they can meet everything that they've been thrown at.
I think the idea that, because I think, the Kickstarter model is an interesting one. The problem is you have companies like Star Citizen that have abused the fuck out of it. Okay? We're going to, you know, if we raise this amount of money, we will give you this. But if you want to keep on giving us, we'll give you this. With no guarantees they will actually come to fruition. It's all just marketing talk. Keep giving us money, and we'll keep making promises that we don't know if we can keep. And actually, they did come out and said they don't know if they can keep all the promises they've made in their crowdsourced funding.
They did.
They did. Chris Roberts came out and said, we're not sure if we're going to be able to meet all the stretch goals on a timely fashion. It didn't get much press, but I know, I read it. I know what he said. And that's why one of the reasons
is sad, because the bits I have been able to see of Star Citizen, it does have potential. But right now it's just bitty little pieces that are much to really get into.
With online gaming being as popular as it is, a lot of people think it's, you know, it's a modern thing. When in actual fact, online gaming's been around for a while. Go back to the original Halo and Halo 2 days. They used and we saw what happened. Like GameSpy was a very popular server service for game developers to use. And if you remember, what was it, about 6 months? Was it what time? It was mid last year when they announced that they were shutting down the GameSpy servers, and the Halo 2 players out there were suddenly going, "Where are we going to play?"
There were a lot of games affected by that shutdown.
Yes, and Halo 2 is just one of them. There's an interesting article, and I'll put the link in chat in a little bit. The electronic EFF, and I'm not sure who else along with them, are trying to put forth a modification to the DMCA that would allow basically dead games to be taken over by the community and have them run the servers. Because that's what happened with Halo 2. The Halo 2 community got together and basically put together the servers that it now runs on. And they manage it. They look after it. The question is, should the community, like that is around a game, control dead online servers?
I think so, because even like the article is stating, there's a lot of games that have been, you know, killed off, and there was still a huge fan base for. Like I know even back when, you know, EverQuest is still alive, but there are still private servers out there. Earth and Beyond, a game I played back in beta, and when they just launched, I think EA actually controlled that one at one point. Was kind of like an early version of EVE, and there is still currently a private server running with that game on it. So like I really hope that they do go forward and get this done, because
but you know what sucks is that they have to have the DMCA modified so that this can happen. That should tell you how screwed up that whole, you know, digital rights management crap is. Because these are dead games. They aren't being sold, well, you know, privately or whatever, but basically the companies have just washed their hands of it. They're done with it. You know, they've gone on to other projects. But there's still players out there that want to play it. And they have formed some pretty strong communities around it. But because of this digital rights management DMCA, you know, policy, it comes down to a copyright issue that, and I've got to go from the point of view of the companies that own it. I understand why, because they have to protect their copyright, so they have to do their legal duty.
Yeah, I agree with that. but there's also
So,
a duty of the people who paid for the game and still are playing it. You know, I even think I think Xbox Live, their gold system, they released was it Battlefield Bad Company 2 for free as one of their first half and last half of the month free games. I downloaded it. I'm like, yeah, what the hell? I'll try this. Played single player, went to multiplayer, wouldn't connect, and I'm pretty sure it's because the servers are down or gone. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a misstep because you just released this game for free, yet there's no way to play multiplayer. Like, it doesn't make sense. They want to cover their butts legally, that's fine, but if it's, I would consider abandonware, let them do it. Move on, change the rules and let it happen.
or worst case, we had a thing of, here, give us $10, we'll give you the server code, you run your own server.
Exactly. That way they can still make a buck off of it.
Yeah. I would like to see this to be changed so that people can, you know, keep on playing the games that they love. You know, especially the online ones, because look, we all have our games, especially now because we are an online world. And just about every single game out there now has an online component to it. And we live vicariously through those small communities that we've built up around our favorite games. To suddenly have that taken away from us because of a copyright issue on a dead fucking game. And someone said, yes, Senor Bolsa said, games should go out of print. Books go out of print. Doesn't stop you from, you know, being able to buy it at a used bookstore and then do whatever you want with it. Technically, you're not supposed to resell games unless you've got an agreement with the copyright holders. You know, so I really hope that, you know, the EFF pulls this off, and see, okay, here's the thing, crazy. You say it sounds like an isolated problem. It is a problem that's going to happen more and more as the games we love get older and older and become less of a value to the company, so that they just finally say, we've had enough.
Cranky,
yes.
Crazy was saying that, as far as he knows, the Bad Company 2 servers are up, so he thinks it was an isolated problem for Red Mage.
Oh, so that's that one.
All right. Sorry about that, Crazy.
They might have been down whenever you tried to connect at the time.
Right.
Like for maintenance or something.
I misunderstood. I did. But yeah, like as like what's your favorite online game right now, Karida?
Favorite online game right now? I don't really have a favorite right now because I'm not playing any of them.
All right.
But
okay,
I had to say what I always go back to, my MUDs. I go back to them religiously.
But you see, they don't have the same problem because there's always somebody somewhere is running a MUD server.
But the trick is running one that I'll play.
Yeah, that's true too. What about you,
There's about
Red?
2 out there.
Oh, you know, my favorite changes weekly or daily. So right now,
okay,
I'm
let me rephrase it. Which one has the community you like the best around it that you feel a part of?
Oh, I would go with World of Warcraft just because of the long-standing relationship I have with the game and people.
For example's sake, let's say tomorrow Blizzard said we're done making WoW. We've got Heroes of the Storm, we've got Overwatch, we've got whatever. We're done. Then at some point down the road, they decide, well, we don't want that server cost anymore because we're not making any money off of it, so we're going to take the servers away. you are suddenly, there goes your community. It's gone. There goes the last 5-10 years of your favorite game gone. And you have no recourse, none at all. Whereas if the EFF can pull off what they want to do, you could go to Blizzard and say, okay, look, let the community take this over, and come to an agreement with them. And then because of the change to the DMCA, Blizzard could say, no problem, we'll work something out. But right now, that can't happen.
Yeah, there would be 10 or 12 million people who would be pissed off, and they'd be railing on this to happen. That's... Hell, when you guys mentioned GameSpy, I didn't even realize GameSpy was still around.
Oh, yeah.
I left that behind in the Quake days, and...
Yes, I still remember that green spot with the top hat, and oh yeah, GameSpy. That was terrible.
That's
okay.
where I first played Natural Selection.
Okay, I'm gonna throw up. Got another little video here, and I'll let Red take us through this one. It's the top 10 most interesting. Oh, and you're not gonna be. Oh, come on now. You don't do this to me. There's a video frame. There's a video capture. Hang on, I just gotta see if I can fix this, folks. Give me a second. Damn thing. It lost the video. Anyway, the subject is the top 10 most interesting NPCs in video games. And as soon as I can get this so it will display, video capture, so much fun. Why is that not wanting to show? No, it's just not wanting to show. Okay, let me try this a different way. Hang on, let's take that right out. Doing it live.
Where anything and everything can and will happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just give me a second, folks. Give an old man a few seconds and just, chill, and we'll figure out what's going on here. Okay. Edit scene. We'll pull this down here, and we'll bring it out like this.
Hey, thanks, Ryan.
And we will go. See if this... There we go.
You may not see them often, but they sure make a splash when you do.
Roll for initiative!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most interesting NPCs or non-playable characters.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
For this list, we decided to rank the characters that just give us a glimpse of joy, help, hilarity, or mystery before disappearing once again. Just so we're clear, we're not looking for any villains or enemies, nor are we looking for sidekicks or teammates, as all those characters have lists of their own. Do a barrel roll! We are allowing for characters who became playable in later installments, so long as it's not in the game in question. Also, the usual rule applies, one per franchise.
Let me talk. Real careful for the slow folks.
Number 10, The Merchant, Resident Evil 4.
Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger.
You definitely want to restock with him. Simply known as The Merchant, he is the player's main source for weapons, items, and upgrades. Sporting a dark trench coat and looking like someone selling something shady in a back alley.
What are you buying?
He reveals himself to Leon S. Kennedy after he has been captured and awakens in the valley.
Got something that might interest you.
He allows you to access the powerful weapons and upgrades found in the game, and also seems to appear mysteriously whenever you need him the most.
Thank you.
Number 9.
Okay. Now, what do you know that character in the game? And oh, Ryan's going facepalm already. Give it a few seconds, Ryan. Come on now, dude. You know this character that that is number 10?
That one I don't. Resident Evil 4 was one that my best friend heavily played, but I think I've only seen like the last half hour of the game. Kind of seems a little pedo bearish to me, but just with that voice of the coat opening, but I don't know. Interesting. This is the thing with Watch Mojo is their list will get people talking, and maybe not in a good way.
Did you ever play the game or know the character, Coretta?
Nope.
Okay.
Actually did not.
So at number 9 we have Tom Cook, Animal Crossing series.
Tom
Nook.
Animal Crossing series.
I hate this one with a flaming passion.
For our list. This anthropomorphic raccoon runs the town shop in every town in the Animal Crossing world.
Oh, that voice would drive me nuts.
He takes the player and employs him in his store, so he can pay off the debt for his first house. Unfortunately, that debt never disappears, as Nook always finds something to charge you for, like some sort of mafia boss. He tones down his shady practices in later games, but we still don't trust him. Number 8.
Okay. Why do you hate that character so much, Red?
Well, the part of it is that that chat, but mind you, most characters in the Animal Crossing games talk like that. It's that never-ending cycle of, I owe this dude money. Why do I have to owe this dude money every time I pay him off? And like I said, it's like he wants 100 bells, which is their currency, to pay off the house debt for him giving you this one-room home. You pay it off, it's like, oh yeah, here's another, I'll get an upgrade for your house, but it's going to cost you 1,000. And oh, you finished that one off? I'm going to charge you 10,000 for the next upgrade to your house. I'm like,
jeez, that
is
sounds
this
like
gonna end?
That sounds like microtransactions.
Worse. Like, it just doesn't end. You always owe him something.
Do you know this one at all, Coretta? No?
I've never touched the Animal Crossing series.
Do you know the series? Like, I've never heard of the series. I have no fucking idea what this one is.
I think it was one of those. It was N64 in Japan, and then skipped a generation and came to the GameCube, and then it's on the DS and the Wii or the 3DS now, and it's one of those pick up and drop after 5 minutes, but you could lose yourself for a whole night playing too.
Okay, up at number 8, The Happy Mask Salesman.
The Happy Mask Salesman, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. Who is the Happy Mask Salesman? No one really knows. Appearing as just a common collector of masks, the Happy Mask Salesman recruits Link to recover a powerful mask that was stolen from him. He is often unpredictable in his erratic behavior, frequently changing expressions in jump cuts, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that counts.
He's got multiple personality disorder, I'm pretty sure.
In Ocarina of Time, his role in Majora's Mask was
or
definitely
bipolar.
More memorable.
Take your pick.
You've met a terrible fate. Number 7.
Okay, yeah, that dude is just, that's one's just too fucking weird. That's creepy as shit.
I'm just happy they didn't list Tingle in here instead. Which, if you've never played this, especially the Zelda 64 version, Ocarina of Time, he's been in a couple of them where he's the little weird-looking guy who's dressed like Link and wants to be like Link, and is super creepy in a stalker way. It's just, go away. Can I kill you? Can I blow you up? Just go. Just leave. Yeah, it's this guy's almost as bad.
All right, at number 7 is Rodin from the Bayonetta series.
Rodin, Bayonetta series.
How about you get out of here?
A weaponsmith, bartender, Santa Claus cosplayer, and owner of the Gates of Hell. Yep, that's Rodin. The badass fallen angel that creates weapons out of demons, Rodin is responsible for forging Bayonetta's sets of pistols, both Love is Blue and Scarborough Fair.
Beautiful.
He will create new weapons for the player as long as you trade him the halos of dead angels. Though, as a final
Really?
if you have 10 million Halos, you can choose to fight his angelic form as a secret boss in both games. Best be prepared though, because he's really hard. Number 6.
Okay, so Rodan looks like a pretty cool dude, I gotta admit.
Yeah,
Okay, he's a freaking badass.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, I played through Bayonetta 1, and he was definitely one favorite character.
I've never played the Bayonetta ones, but yeah, he's a cool dude. I like him. All right, number 6 we have Harold from the Fallout series.
Harold, Fallout series.
Drop your sense of humor in the dust on the way into town.
Originally a human living in Vault 29, Harold was exposed to the forced evolution virus early in his life, and turned into a ghoul with a tree growing out of his head. By the time you run into him again in the 3rd game, that tree has outgrown him.
It kept getting bigger until I ended up stuck inside.
Though undeniably tragic, he's still a kind and helpful soul, even if he isn't too mobile. In the 3rd game, while performing his quest lines, you can either destroy his heart to grant him his final wish, or make him grow even faster. Just don't light him on fire. Number 5.
I don't remember that from the Fallout series.
I didn't run across him in Fallout 3, but I'm pretty sure I would have lit him on fire just cause.
Yeah, just to hear him moan and cry like that would have been worth setting him up the dick on fire. Yeah. Okay, at number 5, how do you pronounce that? Shigora?
Sheogorath.
Okay, Sheogorath. Isn't he that king that you meet in the very beginning?
No, he is in Oblivion. He's part of the Shimmering Isles expansion, and he does a small quest, one of the Daedric quests in Skyrim.
Okay, all right. So
Sheogorath, The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion.
I need a champion, and you've got the job!
You want to learn how to
Oh,
be
gee,
that
thanks.
insane? Just ask this guy.
You're going to stop the Grey March by becoming...
wait. Are they trying to make him look like Sean Connery?
You know, I never thought of it that way. I just love him because he's crazy.
The accent, the look, that's Sean Connery. A little could have been better molded, but yeah, no, that's Sean, baby.
Me.
Sheogorath is the Daedric Prince of Madness, ruling over the realm known as the Shivering Isles. Incorporating both the fun and colorful side, as well as the dark and disturbing side of insanity, Sheogorath is an NPC trapped in his own hell.
The Isles. The Isles! A wonderful place. Except when it's horrible. Then it's horribly wonderful.
He also makes an appearance in Skyrim, still as insane as he was before. But hey, he does give you
The Wabachak! It's Joker!
So he seems rather an inconsequential NPC, really.
He in Oblivion, in that expansion, he's the main quest giver.
Oh, okay.
You have to find him, and he's fairly important there. The Daedric quests in Skyrim, maybe 20 minutes. But it's one of those characters that is so memorable because of its insanity that I purposely will go and do his quest in Skyrim every time because it makes me crack up every time.
Have you played him or come across him? You don't play Skyrim?
I haven't, but I've not loaded it all on my computer before.
But now you've got a machine that can run it.
Yeah, but I don't have all the expansions, so I still won't load it up.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough. All right, up next we have...
He can barely walk. How's he going to stop us?
Number 4, Jeff Joker Moreau, Mass Effect series.
It's Joker time.
It's Joker time.
If you're going to
Love
command a ship
Joker.
like the SSB Normandy, you're gonna need a serious pilot, right? That's where Joker comes in.
The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
An expert pilot,
so remember
especially
him.
behind the wheel of the Normandy,
So remember
Joker
him.
suffers from Vrolix.
I still love
It's
that mission where you have to play as him just for that one bit.
Voiced by Seth Green, Joker is the perfect balance of
Dialogue
nerdy
is nothing but
sarcasm
shit,
and
shit, shit,
heartfelt
shit.
friendship.
Which is why you should comp my drinks.
No.
He also finally gets his day when he hooks up with Edie in the third game, though we're not quite sure how that works. But for that matter, neither is he.
What would you regret?
Getting a shattered pelvis and a broken heart.
Number 3.
Getting a shattered pelvis and a broken heart. What's he getting a shattered pelvis from? Like, why would he
has that bone disease that makes him extremely brittle.
Oh,
so that's why he's always in a chair in the game, and she's a cyborg.
Okay, I get the idea. I get the idea. All right, number 3, we have Granny Rags from Dishonored.
Granny Rags, Dishonored.
Have you seen my little birdies? Oh, the dear things must be starving without their granny.
Actress
That reminds
Susan
me of my
Sarandon
first
voices
ex-wife.
Vera Marais, better known as Granny Rags. Initially,
She
she
was
seems
a
to be
rag.
just your average fallen aristocrat that has become homeless and somewhat insane.
Is that you, my dear husband?
The catch? She practices black magic and has powers just like the player. Originally appearing just as a frail old woman in need of protecting, it is later revealed that she is partially immortal and that she sacrifices other citizens to the all-powerful outsider. So, whether you choose to help her is entirely up to you.
That's right. Pick him up and toss him right in the pot.
Number 2.
Okay. I've always wanted to play Dishonored. I think I've got it in my Steam library. I just never have gotten around to it. But now I kind of want to fire it up and have a run through. I just want to meet that old bag. She reminds me too much of my first ex-wife. That could be scary. Number 2, of course, number 2 is Tiny Tina.
Tiny Tina, Borderlands 2.
She's a fucking Looney Tune.
I love her. Love her.
If you need something to go boom, call Tiny Tina.
By
Tina is the
Karida's
teenage demolitions expert
reaction,
of the
she's never
mysterious
played
group
it.
known as the Vault Hunters. While she doesn't
have
have
to
a
now.
lead role in the game itself, she was popular enough to be fleshed out in the DLC, even acting as the narrator for the events in Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep.
Wait, why the hell are we playing this kids game?
Maybe because shut the hell up, Morty! Tina? She's right, though. Shut up.
We considered giving this spot to Scooter, but Tina would probably send us exploding bunny rabbits if we did.
Whoops. What I meant to say is, it's Eternal Night, and you hear spooky music, and the whole area kind of smells like butts and dead people.
Kind of smells like butts. Dead people.
Before we
Like, okay. You've got to give it to Borderlands. They got some of the wackiest fucking sense of humor, and they do it so well. That's also the one that Mad Moxie's from, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. She's another one of my favorite characters.
And the expansion they're talking about that they created because of the interest in the character it's basically based on Dungeons and Dragons. So like it's swords and sorcery in Borderlands, and that kind of humor is all throughout the game. So Karida, if you like it, you know what you have to play now.
Yeah.
Karida, I think you would really start with Borderlands 1 and go through, because I think that is one game. It would match your sense of humor, and I think it would also match your game preferences. I think you would really, really enjoy it. Okay, so it looks like we have a couple honorable mentions here.
Reveal our top pick. Here are a few honorable mentions.
Cranky Kong? Fuck you! Get the hell out! Don't be taking my name!
Mr. Saturn.
Number 1, Murray, the Demonic Skull, Monkey Island series.
You have come face to face with the terrible demon skull Murray.
Definitely the most peculiar entry on our list. Murray is a possessed skull that was blown up by Guybrush while he was assaulting Elaine's fort.
I'm the greeter / bouncer of Planet Threepwood. The creme de la creme in pirate-themed family style, all-together evil dining.
Murray!
All right, I added the evil part.
He brings us some of the best dialogue in the series, thanks to his current predicament of being a disembodied skull, who's still hell-bent on world domination.
I have taken control, and none shall...
Still, you can't help but feel a bit sorry for him. After all, he certainly speaks his mind about his demonic fantasies, even when he's stuck in Guybrush's coat.
Check this out.
Salutations, Four Eyes.
Do you agree with our list?
So that was number 1. The character from Monkey Island. Yeah. I'm sorry. Borderlands should have taken #1.
I'm with you there. They could have put him #2 or 10.
Yeah.
Because Tiny Teen is absolutely hilariously fun.
Okay, now, before we log out for the night, we've seen what their 1 to 10 are. In the games you've played, and I'll ask the same thing at chat, all right? What is your favorite NPC character in a game you've played and like? Karida, you go first.
Oh, crap. Sorry, I was looking at Borderlands to be able to get it in So I'm lost. What are we talking about now?
Like we've seen the 1 to 10, right? What's your favorite NPC character from the game you've played? And then the same question to chat as well.
Yeah.
It's a hard one because a few of mine are on the list.
Well, that's cool. You know, if that's the case, then there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to, but you know, your reasons why is you know what I'm more interested in. Like if it's on the list, that's cool. I got no problem with that.
Unfortunately, I can't find anything that fits their criteria.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Actually, Empty Vials in chat said one that I would have thought, but he's not an NPC. Minsk from Baldur's Gate, because he had that magical space hamster, which you end up finding in Mass Effect.
What?
If you remember going into the underneath in Normandy in the bottom,
yeah,
like the storage, there's a little hamster that runs around. You catch him, and you put him in a cage in your cabin. That is Boo from Baldur's Gate. That was Minsk's, the barbarian's companion hamster on his shoulder.
Holy fuck! Where do you fucking drag this shit up from, man? Like how do you?
Baldur's Gate was a favorite game of mine, and I'm like, I love Minsk because he's crazy, and he's always talking about this space hamster who has magical powers. I'm like, hey, this guy, and they did a 10-15 year callback in Mass Effect for it, so it was a nice little Easter egg they threw in.
Jeez. Alrighty, Claude from GTA 3, Garrus, let's see, what else we got there? Sergeant Johnson from Halo 2, That's
yeah, Deckard Cain. Stay a while and listen. Yeah, I know. She should have been on that list.
Huh. You could have been eaten by a grue. You have been eaten. No, you have been eaten by a grue. Okay. Anyway. What a Sunday night show this one has been. I hope you guys like the new layout. What do you guys think? You like the new layout?
I like it. The only thing that I would say is whenever we do show the videos, it ends up covering up some of the co-hosts.
I know. I just gonna kind of have to live with that part of it. You know, it's either that or block me out and play it. You know, which can be done too. But I hope you guys like it. I hope that the guys in chat. I hope you appreciate it because I've been fucking working on that sucker all day. But on that note, we're gonna call the show to an end. We almost went 2 hours. And where Joshua? You know where Joshua is? He's gone. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, eh? Anyway, thank you both for being here. Red Mage, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Karida, for jumping in.
You're welcome.
I will definitely get the rest of the schedule straightened out. I think mostly is now. I think just the next couple days are still a bit confusing. But until tomorrow, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed the show. We will be back tomorrow. And if you like what you've seen, please consider, hitting that old follow button if you haven't. If you want to show some support by making a donation, hey, don't let me stop you. I would, no problem.
Bring it in.
Yeah. We'll more than, happily, we'll find a good use for it. Promise you that. But until tomorrow, liquor, yes. Until tomorrow, everybody, this has been Late Night with Cranky and Friends. I am the Cranky Canuck. You guys are fantastic. Chat, we couldn't do it without you. So we will see you tomorrow, everybody. But until then, two words. Game on.